Mr. Pugh, I wanted to kind of follow up on some of the comments that you made. During COVID, truckers saved America. I mean, kept food getting into our grocery stores, and provided medication, supplies, transported everything that we needed. Can you elaborate on the impact that your drivers had and the difficulties that they faced during COVID?
Thank you for the kind words. And yeah, truckers help save America along with the first responders and others as well. And I'm proud and happy to do so. Anytime there's a national emergency anywhere in this country, truck drivers are always there hauling the supplies and the needed goods and getting the things there. COVID was very tough for truckers. I guess you would say, because unfortunately what happened was we have this emergency, truckers are asked to step up to the plate and get the goods there, which they did, but then restaurants closed, they couldn't get food. State rest areas closed, places like that where they could go off to use the restroom. Now they have nowhere to go to the bathroom. As far as getting the things that first, like the wipes, the masks, all these things they need, the personal protective gear, I guess you would say, they didn't have that. They couldn't get that. Fortunately, FSMCSA finally did get that along with our help and ATAs to get that out to them. But there was all these things that we as American consumers and people were taking for granted that truck drivers didn't have. Then the big thing I think was that nobody talks about was, what did truck drivers do when they got sick? You know, these people, these men and women on the road, they're 500, 1,000 miles from home. I have been sick like that. It's terrible. And that's just with the cold. Now, you want these people to quarantine, not be around people? Where are they supposed to go? We had members who called in that their carriers told them just to park the truck and get home however they had seen fit. These people were just left out there with nothing. So, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Other question. So after COVID, I remember speaking with our chambers of commerce, advocacy groups, and I had a question raised to me for the first time, and it was the first time that became a top priority of the chamber, but they had no solution to it. But they said, can you do anything that you can to improve the supply chain issues that are impacting all of the businesses, whether it was hospitals, any business down the line, whatever your business was being impacted, and still today is impacted by supply chain. In your testimony, you talk about some of the things that actually that are being proposed. So, for example, the new EPA rule, the proposed rule, will that improve the supply chain?
No, it will not improve the supply chain due to, again, we're talking and having technology forced upon an industry that it either doesn't exist or it's not proven. And again, we all know things that are proven work, and end consumers should not be guinea pigs or test rats for anything.
Yeah. So the other question is, there's this push to move to electric vehicles. Is that going to improve the supply chain?
Not at this point, no, because there's so many occupational things out there that nobody seems to have answers for. I look back to the snowstorm we had couple months ago in Northern California. How do electric snowplow trucks work? Because there's lots of componentry on a plow truck, for example. Not only does it move the engine move the truck, but it also operates the bed, the thing that spreads the salt, the plow. There's all these things that work off of that.
The other rule that's being proposed is this side underride guards, requiring that they be installed, which has an estimated annual cost of $1.2 billion. Is that going to improve the supply chain?
No, again, we're looking at so many operational challenges that no one wants to discuss as far as side underride guards, and also the unintended consequences. One big thing becomes, if all these trucks have these on them, they get stuck on a railroad track, and we start seeing an increase of these center hungs on railroad tracks. There's only two ways to get a center hung truck off of a railroad track. That's a tow truck or a train.
Mr. Pugh, it would appear that all of the policies being implemented are actually devastating to the supply chain as opposed to improving it.
I think the ones that you brought up, you're correct. They are not helping the supply chain.
Thank you.